Hello there, and welcome to the Pit and Paddock Race Show. It's the second week of October,
Probably.
and it's still hot. What happened in NASCAR?
NASCAR was at the Charlotte Roval this week, and it was dominated by Kyle Larson, as he does. Followed by a very large gap, and Christopher Bell and Lucky Lord Byron to round out the podium.
Yeah, I saw that gap. It was like a Verstappen a year ago gap.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was like, this is like an F1 race here at the end.
I know.
I don't know. They should have called the race the Mosh Pit for drivers, though, with all the spinning and bumping with that new hairpin that they added.
Oh, that was fun.
That was probably the best part of the race, that hairpin. You had Briscoe spinning, Tyler Reddick spinning, Brad Keselowski spinning, Ross Chastain spinning, Gilligan spinning, Logano and Hocevar also, spinning other people, mostly.
The Chrome Horn Award. We should have done a list of who didn't spin or get smacked or smack somebody.
That would have been much quicker than listing off everyone who does spin.
I want to see an IndyCar race with this much contact in it.
Nashville seemed to do that.
That was pretty close.
So say his safety car was out for like 80% of the race too. Here everyone like spins out and they just go like, he'll probably get back going again.
What was with the self-imposed penalty when you cut the chicane thing? That was weird.
NASCAR. Oh, if you cut the chicane, you're allowed to stop on your own, and they won't send you in for a drive-through. Like if you catch yourself, you can do it yourself, and NASCAR will let it go. But if they catch you, they would have you stop on the backstretch one, that chicane. So
like a DWI.
Just to stop and go.
Okay.
It's a little better than running through the entire pit lane at speed. It's more of a fair penalty, I think. You only lose like 5 spots or so.
Well, in Formula 1, they just make you give the spot back.
Yeah. No, you have to give multiple spots back.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair. Oh, well.
The race started out with SVG on the pole for a couple laps. And then, no, he led most of the first stage. That's right. Where's my head?
He was doing really well. It looked like it was going to be another SVG.
Yeah, he drove away with it and then pitted early for strategy, and Tyler Reddick ended up getting all the stage win points. Then stage 2 ended up being Larson ahead, who led pretty much the entire stage and pitted early, giving the win to Bowman, which turned out to not help him that much.
He actually needs the points.
He did need the points.
What was he thinking? Did he have Ferrari for his pit strategist?
Probably. And then was that that didn't work out well for Bowman later, but that was when Tyler Reddick decided to torpedo Denny Hamlin in the chicane. His car got like 3 or 4 feet of air too. That was pretty entertaining.
That's called the Marco Andretti move.
That sent him all the way to the back repairing, and he spent the rest of the race trying to make his way back up.
In stage 2, did Lead Doofy call Allmendinger the Dinger?
The Dinger? I remember him calling him that before.
Did he?
I think when he was in IndyCar.
I haven't heard it. Well, we haven't really seen Allmendinger be talked about very much.
No, he's not in all the races this year.
Well, he looked like he had a real chance, and then he kind of faded at the end of this race.
Yeah, his car dropped off a little bit. Or, Kyle Larson was just too good. Maybe he has a Penske push-to-pass button in his car.
He's Hendrick, right?
Yeah.
Who did he drive for in Indy?
Was McLaren and Hendrick.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
They teamed up for that one. So Larson ended up making stage 3 exciting enough that a battle for 5th was the most interesting thing going on.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, why do they keep showing me 5th? Oh, because Larson's got a 12-second gap.
It's like a Formula 1 style lead here at the end of the race. I also thought that, Reddick's comeback trying to get past Logano in the points made the stage pretty watchable.
Yeah, because it was him and Reddick.
Reddick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logano was up like 10 points when Reddick got pushed to the back in repairs, and he spent stage 3 moving up through the field, and then finally passed him in points to move on, or so he thought.
And knocked Logano out of the playoffs.
Knocked him out.
Until Logano got bailed out by the refs when Bowman failed the post-race inspection.
They said he was not within you have a 17-pound limit over, and he was not within that weight.
He was too light.
Too light.
Yeah. And they even let him refuel, put water in the radiator, fill up his drink cup.
Everything that he could. They really don't want to give that penalty out.
Yeah.
It ended up changing the whole playoffs, but oh well. Overall, I kind of liked the race. That extra chicane or hairpin they added there made it a lot more interesting. I think it would have been kind of boring without all that action.
I heard that NASCAR put in smaller curbs after the Busch race and had to do like the European track limits nonsense. Did it work?
It worked out better than I thought. When I saw they did that, I'm like, great, we're going to be doing this, arguing over track limits the whole race. But I saw him miss 1 or 2 calls that were pretty close. Bubba Wallace got a penalty for it. He just had to stop on the backstretch, and didn't really come into play that much during the whole race, which was nice. That annoys me.
In the Gilligan report, he had his reliable, usual mid-pack finish. I'm going to say he could have done better except for his boozy, jerky paint scheme. I think that held him back.
Is that like a giant cow on the front of it or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. It doesn't really go for me there. That boozy jerky scheme.
Why do they? Did we do a whole series on different jerkies, like the perky jerky and?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would try it. Maybe I'll look for that.
Cocaine jerky.
Ooh, that'll get you up.
Coca jerky. What about paint schemes?
I liked the 47 Ricky Stenhouse's Totino's pizza rolls. 10 for 10 Totino's party pizzas used to be a great deal. Now they're $1.50 each. Thanks, Obama.
Good job.
Especially since it's good because the ingredient list is longer than the Constitution.
Oh yeah, that's a good sign. Especially if you can't pronounce most of the ingredients, then you know it's going to taste good.
I think I made it to 2. It was like sugar was number 1 for some reason. Somehow, number 1. High fructose corn syrup.
That's sugar, then high fructose corn syrup, then number 3. That always makes it better. I had a hard time picking a good paint scheme. It was kind of like picking a dance partner at the Ugly School. But I ended up going with Briscoe, the number 14 Ford Racing School car, just because it had kind of a red, white, and blue. It felt just slightly Evel Knievel to me. So
that was a good looking one.
Yeah.
Kind of an average, below average week for paint.
Nobody had anything great.
Yeah. Not good paint scheme. I went with the Eric Jones number 43. Was it like a Family Dollar car? It's like pink and yellow and orange. I just don't like those colors together.
I went with Bowman in the number 48 Max Headroom paint scheme. Stopped trying to revive 80s graphic design because it didn't look good then and it doesn't look good now.
Looks like somebody was doing some sort of a Grand Theft Auto Vice City look to it.
Oh yeah, looks like it came off of Miami Vice. Playoffs. Where are we at in playoffs now?
Well, that was the cutoff. So my predictions for getting cut this round were Logano, Suarez, Briscoe, and Cindric.
3 out of 4?
3 out of 4. Well, I was 4 out of 4 for a short time.
That's right. I had Briscoe, Suarez, Reddick, and Hamlin. So 2 out of 4.
2 out of 4.
Yeah.
So Logano was cut for 3 or 4 hours until post-race inspection, and then Alex Bowman got ejected from the race. 0 points, and that cut him out of the playoffs.
Too bad.
So, better luck next year. Alex Bowman, no more cheating. Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, and Daniel Suarez. They all needed pretty much to win the race, and that didn't happen.
Chase Briscoe should go out just for being named Chase. My dog was named Chase.
Everyone's named Chase.
I don't know.
It's the new Dale, I believe.
Chase.
Yeah.
Is anybody named Walker Texas Ranger yet? Or was it Walker and Texas
Walker
Ranger?
and Texas Ranger.
Oh, that's right. One kid was Walker. All right. White Walker. No, that's racist.
Yes, it is.
I'm sure there's lots of Game of Thrones kids' names coming out now.
They were named before they saw the last season, I guess.
Yeah.
It was like, I went, oh no, what have we done?
Oh.
Sorry, little Khaleesi.
Yeah.
Anyway, points reset going into the next round. First place is Larson with 33, plus 33 over the cut line.
Also a big gap.
That's a big gap.
Mm.
So good for him. Christopher Bell plus 13 over. Tyler Reddick plus 10. William Byron plus 4. Below the cut line, Ryan Blaney minus 4. Denny Hamlin minus 8. Chase Elliott minus 9. And lucky Joey Logano minus 11.
I really don't want to see another Larson. He's won the championship, right?
I won it a couple years ago.
Yeah, I hate seeing repeats. I'm going to root for Lucky Lord Byron.
That would be a good win. Championship.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for at the end of the year. But for the next round, who gets cut? Logano, he can't be that lucky twice. Denny Hamlin, Blaney, who honestly I didn't even realize was in the playoffs, and Reddick.
Red Dick.
Yeah, Reddick.
Who's going to get cut? Reddick this time. I'm going to go Reddick, Elliott, Hamlin, and Blaney. I think Logano wins one of these
Right.
next 3 races and moves on. Just because he's going to be lucky for the rest of the playoffs now.
That was a stroke of luck. Like, you can't really... you can't really not pick him after that, I guess.
Oh.
We'll see.
So this round is going to have Las Vegas, a 1.5 mile oval. Homestead, Miami, which is a 1.5 mile oval. And Martinsville, half-mile short track. Yeah, and I don't really know who to pick with all of these races because all 8 of these drivers are good at all of these tracks, and I think they've all won at all of them too.
I'm gonna say Lucky Lord Byron's got to win either Vegas or Miami.
I think so. Yeah, he's gonna need.
But then Larson's always good on the 1.5s like Vegas. He's had good luck at Vegas.
Yeah, he runs well at Homestead. Not so much at Martinsville. As much,
no.
But
Well, that's going to be another mosh pit. It's
maybe
got to be better than the night race.
Bristol. I hope they
Yeah.
get their short track business together because that used to be the funnest races. Wanted to talk about the Busch race on Saturday, where once again we're talking about the NASCAR officiating. So we're coming up on I think it is the last lap of the race. We've got Parker Kligerman leading, looking for his first ever win.
Wait, is that the guy that does the announcing?
The 48, yeah, he works for NBC also.
Really? Okay. I didn't even realize that.
And some car, I think it was the 42, got buried in the tire barriers, like you couldn't see him buried, but the TV cameras caught him. So Parker's like out leading for about the entire lap, and the officials wait till he's literally 8 inches from the start-finish line to throw the yellow and go into overtime, where Parker lost the race and didn't get that win. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Sitting around for a full lap while this guy's stuck in the tire barriers and just waiting till the end? That seems purposely cruel. Like, it should have been a caution when you first see it, not wait.
Will
that
Power
entire
probably gave him
lap.
a call after that.
That's
Didn't console him.
So-
Did he double bird the officials like Will Power?
No, he should have. So another good reason the NASCAR officiating is talking to the media after the race. We're trying to move away from this, NASCAR. Please stop screwing things up.
Well, in charter news, 2311 and Front Row, the two that refused to sign the new charter, have filed for injunctions asking that they be allowed to race in 225 while the legal process plays out. NASCAR filed a counter injunction asking 23XI and Front Row if they could race in 2024.
It's a cheap shot. Didn't need to take a shot like that in court. I'm wondering how the other teams feel about that, if they're just sort of secretly rooting for him there quietly.
There's a secret GoFundMe page for 23 and Front Row, funded by all the other teams.
Yes, you guys go fight and get us more money.
That's basically what it boils down to. We all want more money.
Yeah, I want more money. I should file.
All the drivers should go on strike for a race, like the opening race. That would change things.
I wonder what would happen.
Or the last race. Well, we're refusing to drive until the charter's redone.
That would probably work, but
yeah,
what kind of disaster that would turn out to be.
Or just refuse to start the race until they... Yeah, they're not that organized.
It'll
never happen.
What is this, Texas?
Yeah.
Well, coming up next week, South Point 400 at Las Vegas. A 1.5-mile track, 267 laps. That will always be the Dan Weldon track. Yeah, that was a tough race to watch.
We were there. That was the worst race I think we've ever seen. First only above the last Phoenix IndyCar race.
Oh, no.
That one was terrible.
All of them weren't great.
Yeah, all three of them were pretty bad. They just didn't have the car for it. They should have let them put on their super speedway wings that they never get to use anymore. How often did the IndyCar use the super speedway wings? Like one race a year now?
Indy?
Yeah. Did they ever use it on any other track?
Texas?
Yeah.
Pocono.
They need more super speedways.
Moving on to Formula One this week, there was still no racing because all the F1 teams were busy practicing their pronouns for the upcoming U.S. Grand Prix.
If you're coming to America, gotta practice your pronouns.
Get your pronouns straight, or else you're going to be kicked right out.
Yep. NBC News will never cover you. In Red Bull, people are starting to come up with conspiracy theories as to why Red Bull had such an epic fail.
Ooh, interesting.
So the number one theory is that the FIA issued a directive on no asymmetrical braking, and that Red Bull had asymmetrical brakes. That seems to be the top theory.
That could be. Would it be give up that much time that they've lost? I don't know.
I don't know. That seems pretty hard. Any directive that the FIA issued would have to be public. So if it was a series-wide directive, so that one probably didn't happen.
No. Was it a secret directive to Red Bull? Like
the one to Ferrari?
Yeah, we're not selling tickets anymore. Stop with the braking.
Okay, maybe that could happen. The second theory is Pirelli changed the tire compounds in the middle of the season, which is illegal. Also unlikely.
I don't think they can do that.
No.
They set that all up. Okay,
yeah.
That's not it.
And then the third most common one is that the FIA changed minimum tire pressures, which hurt Red Bull, which, once again, would have to be made public if they actually did that.
Yeah, would that be announced? Or, they usually sent out one of those notices.
Yeah.
That's like 12 paragraphs of garbage info just saying that they've changed the minimum tire pressure.
Oh, like 12 things, and then number 6 they sneak in that says no minimum tire pressure, and the other 11 don't really mean anything. Possible.
Or could it be that they matched their design and McLaren copied it better?
McLaren, they're almost like Tracing Point now, but
they're getting close.
Yeah, I think everybody learned Red Bull secrets, and some people just did it better. Plus, Adrian Newey leaving Red Bull.
That probably has a bit to do with it. I saw that the FIA is going to be having its prize gala in Rwanda.
Like the Rwanda genocide, Rwanda?
That's the Rwanda.
Are the Hutus providing security for that gala?
Maybe with the Tutsis together? But they're teaming up to provide, I bet.
They're going to have the Hutus and the Tutsis battle for who gets to provide security.
Oh, that sounds like Rwanda.
Yeah. One of the biggest news is Haas is turning Japanese up and teaming up with Toyota Racing.
You really think so?
I do. Everybody's wondering how can you team up with Toyota when you have such a deal with Ferrari. Toyota's actually going to provide not engines or chassis or body or anything. They're going to provide a wind tunnel that Haas doesn't have, sim machines, and access to their young drivers.
Sounds kind of like a P. Diddy party.
The wind tunnel part?
All of it?
Access to young drivers.
A lot of...
The big question everybody is wondering is Toyota is this their toe in so they can come back and eventually make chassis and engines again? Right now, Dallara makes all of Haas's body and chassis.
That could be. That's a pretty easy in, I guess. I don't know why Haas wouldn't have just, sold to Andretti if they didn't want to do that instead of slow rolling a Toyota takeover.
Yeah, Andretti actually had Cadillac on board.
Maybe it's going to be more of a, like a Haas Toyota where they take on like half the team or something. Sort of like a Williams with their engine manufacturer or something.
I mean, Haas gets engines, and every legal part they could get from Ferrari comes from Ferrari. But that agreement runs out 2 years, 3 years, like fairly soon. So they would be free to just go Toyota.
Interesting.
A lot of teams are starting to find that it makes more sense to buy your engines from somebody else because, especially with the 2026 engines being so ridiculously complex, it's probably going to boil down to just Ferrari, Mercedes making all the engines. I don't know if Honda's going to, or Red Bull, Honda. That's about, or no. It's going to be Red Bull Ford, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you'll have 3 engine manufacturers. Alpine's out, and nobody else is going to make them.
Cadillac wants to eventually, which that's probably multiple years down the line, but that could be.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It could be Haas Toyota pretty soon.
It's probably better than Haas fighting for last on the grid, I guess.
Yeah.
I heard that Magnussen may stay on at Haas in a different role. I'm betting it's going to be the team security guard since he's so good at blocking. I don't. That's my guess.
Not helmet polisher.
No, there's a. What? That guy's from the P. Diddy party.
Oh. Wait, Mags never went to any of the P. Diddy parties.
He did not. That's
okay.
That's not what Mags does.
In other news, there's rumor of Schumacher the younger, Mick Schumacher, taking the last seat at Sauber/Audi instead of Botox staying.
Really?
I don't know why, because Botox can actually drive fast.
He's very consistent.
Yeah.
I don't see him. He gets about what the car can give him.
Yeah, Schumacher was just not as fast as his father.
There was a lot of mistakes, too, with that Haas year where both of those drivers were crashing every other race.
Oh, yeah. Gene Haas said he's not bringing him back because he crashes, although Mags had a brilliant, unnecessary crash at Monaco.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Took out Perez and his teammate. Yeah. We'll see. I don't think so. I think Botox stays. I don't see... What does Schumacher bring? His name really didn't help Haas.
He might have some backing, but probably not anything excessive to make up for what he's going to crash.
Ferrari was his major backing at Haas.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of their young test drivers, and he didn't make the cut. Next up, the United States Grand Prix at COTA in Texas. Did they make any changes to the track this year?
I read about they changed some of the curb to like that glue gravel, kind of like Austria has, so that they won't have to deal with those, the booth making calls off track limits and everything. Hopefully that helps.
So that glue on gravel, it's not like real gravel where you get into it and it goes everywhere.
Yeah, it's like they glue it onto so it'll still you won't gain speed in it, but you won't throw gravel all over the track, and it'll it's enough of a penalty to keep you on track and doesn't ruin your day.
I feel like if you could hit it just right, you could get some extra traction out of it.
Little sideways.
Yeah, like maybe get just the right angle on it and actually gain speed.
I'd like to see someone try it.
Yeah. Well, everybody's coming back from the long break with upgrades. So what are your predictions for the U.S. Grand Prix?
I think it'll end up about the same. McLaren, probably better than Red Bull. And Ferrari, good in qualifying, but then disappointing in the race.
I'm going to say McLaren, Ferrari second, and Red Bull just continues to fade because they don't have Newey.
Yeah. We'll find out if they lose the Manufacturers' Championship.
And then...
Or the drivers, I mean.
Mercedes, maybe Mercedes third, Red Bull fourth. Mercedes has been doing a little better. But this ground effects era has not been their friend.
No, it's not great.
They were good when it was the new engine, the turbo hybrid era was where they really dominated, which is why I think the 26 rigs are going to favor Mercedes and Ferrari.
Is this going to be the last set of upgrades for the year, probably, or has anybody got a little more coming up?
Probably not. Well, maybe because the chassis doesn't change. The rules don't change next year. So, I mean, if you're in the back, it's a good time to start testing out new ideas. And then but then everybody's kind of running out of money by this time of year too. So
I'll just up that catering fee.
Yeah.
Ask Red Bull; they know what they're doing.
What are all these tires? That was for catering. Those were catering tires and some catering wind tunnel time.
Yes. I want to make sure that the tablecloths don't fly away in the breeze.
That's a good excuse. Well, we should have some good info on the U.S. Grand Prix. My only complaint is that it's on in our time zone, so I can't wake up and watch it as soon as I get up in the morning.
I find it annoying when F1 races are on at like noon instead of 6 or 7.
Yeah, on Friday I gotta wait all day just to listen to practice. And
that's right.
I can't listen to practice at 8 a.m. when I start work.
I roll out of bed. The race is already over, and I can just catch up.
Yeah, it's one of the great things about Formula One. They're always 8 hours ahead of us.
Oh, unless it's Vegas when they're 8 hours. Still 8 hours behind you, even though it's 1 a.m.
Wait, how long till the Vegas race? We're still months away.
November.
Oh, okay. I'm headed up. I'm headed up tomorrow. I'm wondering if they're starting to make any improvements to the roads, but they had it pretty dialed in now where they're supposed to be able to set it up and take it down in like half a day.
That's what I heard. Get everything set up much more easily than before.
I kept meaning to drive by the paddock and get some pictures, so I'll have to remember to do that this time.
See if anyone wants to give you a free, maybe a booth or tickets.
Oh, yeah. On Instagram, I see lots of ads to sign up for the whatever team experience, and if you win the grand prize, you get to hang out with the team all weekend.
Oh. Yeah, I'll probably win that.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Moving on to IndyCar, who doesn't race anymore. RLL Racing has signed Indy NXT champ. That's stupid. Can we call it Indy Lights from now on, please?
Yeah, why? Is NXT some company?
No, I think they're just trying to be like hip, but hip in 1998, going NXT instead of Next, or I don't know.
Like the texting version of Next? Yeah.
The Indy Lights champ, Lewis Foster, since Indy apparently doesn't have enough Brit drivers already.
Aren't they 50% Brit drivers? Or?
God, I think so. There's so many.
We've got 4 American drivers in the American Race Series. I was looking at the upcoming Arlington Grand Prix. Is that what they're calling it? Not the Texas Grand Prix?
I think, Arlington Grand Prix.
Yeah, I was looking at the course. So there's 2 stadiums. There's the Cowboys stadiums and the Texas Rangers stadiums right there kind of together. And the course goes all the way around both stadiums. So it's a lot like going to a game and looking for a parking spot.
At least you don't have to watch the Cowboys once you park.
Oh, well, they got beat by the Lions last weekend. That's almost as bad as being beat by the Cardinals.
The Cardinals still beat them every time too. It was 40-9 or something. I don't know. It was a beat down.
So how do the Lions get a good team?
It was bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, I guess put enough monkeys on typewriters and somebody's going to get a sentence together.
That's how the football works. I saw that on top of the Arlington Grand Prix that IndyCar is close to getting a Mexico City and Denver street race for 2026 also.
They can't sell out the races they have now if it's not Indy, so...
It's all going to be street races since we don't go to ovals anymore.
What is up with all the street races?
I guess it's just easier to bring the people in for street races than having ovals, like, Texas with like 15,000 people in a massive arena.
I mean, street races are fun because you're right there, you're downtown, stuff's really close. So, I mean, it's as good as a road course, but
yeah,
you need some more super speedways.
I like the big mix. I like having a whole mix of tracks, making it the most interesting series.
Yeah, it was. Well, but then they turned it into a spec series. So.
They do need another Western race, I guess. Midwestern sort of Denver area.
Denver, is Texas Midwest? No, they're Central.
Yeah, they do need to. And Mexico City, they should have been there 5 years ago racing with how popular Pato O'Ward is.
He's on billboards where all the kids can see him.
Pato who? All the kids and their billboards,
The only billboards kids see these days are when they're tagging them.
Good thing they made all this new race announcement so people would stop hammering on them. They're like, okay, well that looks like a good race. I guess we'll let them go for a while.
Any word on the FBI Ray Hall team investigation?
They may be charged with not issuing a statement that their shop is built on land that once belonged to a native tribe.
You have to do that. They're too far east to not have our land was once owned by someone else's statement.
Was that Ben and Jerry's that did that?
Oh, all the universities
do they?
Now too.
Did any of them relinquish their land to the current tribe?
They did not.
What? Did they give any of their massive endowments to the no.
No.
Wow, just a statement saying that
this land once belonged to the Potawatomi tribe. My youngest said it sounded like they were mocking the tribe. Hey, this land used to belong to the Potawatomis, but it's ours now.
Taunting them?
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should have fought harder for it. Yeah. Our land now.
It does sound like taunting. That's a penalty in football.
I do that when I move. I issue a statement that this land once used to belong to somebody else. Then I bought the house, so I guess it's mine now.
When we bought our land up north, I issued a statement that this land once belonged to some squirrels. Actually, I think more squirrels came since I built a house there.
Need a squirrel wall.
Well, my neighbor likes to feed the squirrels. I do have a bird feeder.
They eat out of the bird feeder?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the squirrels. Everybody eats out of the bird feeder. Next up, the St. Pete race in only 139 days. Just enough time to maybe schedule a race that people would actually watch.
I hope so.
Like, another street course maybe. If you could pick a super speedway, which one would you pick? Like, okay, they're going to go to...
Michigan.
It's
the only one left that they can race at. Fontana's gone.
Well, how about Daytona? Would you see them at Daytona?
I don't think they could ever do it safely. No. But I would, if we're just having fun there, then yes, of course, let's run it.
Is Daytona faster than Talladega?
I think Talladega has a little more banking, so I think Talladega would be the fastest.
Okay, then I pick Talladega.
I think they would get up to like 270 if they could do whatever wing they wanted. Like it's.
They'd probably have to put the road course wing on just to slow them down.
Yes, it would be. Oh, and then if someone hit anything, they would fly to the moon.
It would be like the Vegas race when Dan Loveland crashed. Well, that was a pack race. They were all foot to the floor in those underpowered cars. And, pack racing doesn't work good in open wheel.
There was that old Indy car, Dallara, that they used to made those Texas races so exciting because it was pack racing.
Yeah. People love pack racing, except the IndyCar drivers.
What else was on this weekend was the Petite Le Mans at Road Atlanta.
Petite makes it sound like they're insulting Atlanta.
It does kind of. Like, oh, look at you guys trying to have a little race over here.
You can have a Petite Le Mans race, but not a real race.
I guess it's better than the 10 hours of Georgia or something. That sounds uninteresting. Sounds like traffic.
You'd call it, LA traffic. You'd call it like the moonshine run.
That would be more. That's more of a NASCAR race.
The cannonball run.
They should do a cross-country street race with. No, it's a bad idea.
That's how they used to be.
Yeah.
That's how Formula One started. They would just race. It used to be like the Paris to Berlin race.
That must have been awesome.
Yeah. Of course, you could only see them from one position as they drove by. You couldn't really tell who won. Maybe they had people follow them like an airplane to see who. But they didn't have radio when they first started that.
I wonder how they probably just had checkpoints.
Yeah. Oh no, the German driver didn't show up.
Well, we'll send a letter to his family. In the GTP class, Ganassi won their final race with Cadillac. Cadillac is moving to Wayne Taylor Andretti Racing next year, and Ganassi is going to be out of IMSA.
They just don't want to do it anymore.
I think he's just taking a year off. I'll probably get something going next year or the year after.
Like Andretti.
That was a big win for Boyge. Ringer van der Zand, my favorite name to say in IMSA racing.
Van der Zand?
Ringer van der Zand. And Scott Dixon, who once again snuck in there for a victory. He's like, hey, I wasn't winning enough, so here I am again.
He's like Japan at Pearl Harbor sneaky.
He's so consistent, too.
Yeah. He's like, he drives on autopilot.
He should run a couple NASCAR races, road course or something. I bet he could do pretty well.
Dixon could probably be like, and Dixon's third? Wait, what? Where did he come from? Well, in NASCAR, that's not too, because your driver can crash and still come back and win in NASCAR.
Yeah, Tyler, or at least get to the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the IMSA championship was decided before this race. The two Penske push-to-pass Porsches were 1 and 2 in the standings. And Porsche also won the GTD Pro Championship. That's the car-looking ones.
Is that the series where they give you ballast if your engine's too good?
I think, yeah, they'll try to balance out the entries. And everyone always complains about how much they're getting and all that.
That sounds like equity racing.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Make sure everybody wins the race.
Oh, the fans are the real winners here.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, we actually have 2 races to report on. 2
full races.
Both of them in the United States.
And both on at exactly the same time, I believe.
Oh, it's a good thing we have the F1 subscription.
Yes.
You can watch that whenever you want.
And then I can skip the commercials in the NASCAR race. It'll be great.
Yep. Stay safe out there. Wait, what does Ron Burgundy always say?
Stay classy.